everybody. My name is DeAndre, aka Uncle Debo, and welcome to the first episode of the Talk 101 podcast. I am with the Talk Crew, aka the Homie Gang Gang. Introducing first, Jalen, aka Mr. Cool Side of the Pillow.
What's up, guys? I'm Jalen, a student at Kansas Western University. Currently play football right now. I'm in my junior year, and I'm excited to get these talks going, especially on the podcast version. We're able to kind of freely talk about things without without a staring audience, I should say. But I'm actually really glad to be here. So let's get started. Glad to be here. Glad for you guys to be here as well.
And also, we gotta give props to the cameraman. Usually, he doesn't talk at the shows, but because we're on the podcast, we're gonna have to force him to talk. We're gonna introduce Anthony, aka Mr. Shot Clock Cheese.
Hello, my name is Anthony. I'm coming out from the East Bay. I go to K-Dub as well. Both of these two dudes are my teammates, and I'm excited to get the talk going. So let's go.
Yeah, if you ever heard, we're basically all teammates, we're all football players. But before we're football players, we are students and we are human beings. And so, of course, we're on a video, we're doing a podcast, but there's a lot of people that probably never heard of Talk. And so let me explain to you what Talk is. Talk is actually an acronym that I came up with, which is teaching authenticity, learning kindness. And the initiative of Talk is basically to have a series of conversations for a lot of younger generation, which is our generation, and we just talk about social issues and cultural issues to try to find a common ground, find the middle ground. Now, of course, when you hear about these tough situations that happen, especially in this year, a lot of us don't really want to have those conversations and talk about it because a lot of us feel like that we can't relate to it, or it's just very hard to talk about it, and we just want to turn a blind eye. But I think the main mission for us is that we're trying to eliminate ignorance, allow freedom of speech to happen, because at the end of the day, when it comes to freedom of speech, you have to learn that you're responsible for what you say and you got to be accountable for your actions, because there's always good consequences and bad consequences. And the biggest thing, we're trying to beat cancel culture, because I'm tired of cancel culture giving a lot of people excuses to get away with stuff without actually holding them accountable. And so the main, like, we're at your neck this year. If anything, talk is at your neck. We're allowing freedom of speech because at the end of the day, you might think that you're woke, but wokeness, no, there's no point of it. Okay, there's still a lot of things that we as humans can learn. And so, besides that, it's been a while. I've been in Kansas for ever since my finals and stuff. How y'all boys been? Like, how's life been? Especially in the West Coast. I know y'all in Cali. Like,
You want to go first, Jalen?
Sure. Honestly, man, since I got back home, I've just been working, dude. Just working. Literally all the time that I get. If I get any free time, I'll go out and work with my pops, or if I don't have free time, I'll either be asleep. But a lot of the time is spent working, whether it be like, of course, working out for football, or, gotta get in the bag. But a lot of my time's been working. I definitely miss you guys for sure, just because the simple fact that I'm not really social, especially with the pandemic going on. There's not really much we can do. I'm in California, by the way, for, those that are listening. I'm in Southern Cal, to be specific, and a lot of things are like just shut down. So if you're not really essential, you're that stay-at-home order is really enforced on pretty much everyone. Like, it's gotten bad to the point to where if you have like gatherings, like say my neighbor had a birthday party, the law enforcement has encouraged, neighbors to kind of call the police on each other and kind of get them a ticket written and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting out here. I'm not going to lie. It's really interesting, but people are still doing what they want to do, and it's very vital that we take this pandemic as serious as possible, especially leading in 2021. But that's a conversation, another conversation for another time. But yeah, that's how my break has been. Just filled up with work.
Jalen, if nothing was shut down, would you be roller skating right now?
I actually went roller skating. There, so like, of course, all the rinks are closed, but like there's like open areas where they have where they have like, nice little open, so like, those outdoor hockey parks, or not
Yeah.
hockey parks, but hockey rinks. We
Mhm.
kind of like, bring our speakers and kind of just, set the vibe there. And, I'm not going to lie, the last time it was a cool amount of people to show up. So, I mean, everybody really just wears their mask. So,
Yeah.
this young culture is trying to, still have fun, but in the most safe way as possible. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I went skating, but only twice. I've only been twice since I've been back home.
Okay.
Just been so, but yeah, you guys should come, especially when you come back or come out this way and to SoCal.
Yeah.
I got a pair of skates waiting for you.
So my time at home's been interesting. I just been hanging out with my dad, like helping him with church and stuff. And then my free time, I go to my JUCO, and hang out with my teammates and work out and stuff. So that's pretty fun. I've been talking with my coach a lot about like internships and like how to get into like a GA position. So I think that's exciting for me because I'm ready to get like graduated and get on with my life. But other than that, I've been good. I mean, I'm excited for Christmas and whatnot, but I definitely miss y'all. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely missed you, man. It's a good thing I have a PCU at my, at my house with your little massage gun and your keys.
Yeah.
I will say that massage gun is like a blessing. Like, man, it works so good, fam. It really does and stuff. And you know what's crazy? While y'all like enjoying y'all suddiness, it has only snowed twice here, fam.
Really?
Yes, it's sunny. Like it snowed on Tuesday, but barely. It melted so quick, and I'm like, yo, this
how
is
hot
good.
is it?
It's around like the high 50s. Like it's been good weather, but like this is my thing. The weather's too good, so I feel like when everybody comes back, it's GG's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
we'll be playing in the snow possibly, and I'm just like, I don't know about that. I might really be like, yo, I'm dripping for the season.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna be
bundled up.
the jersey, long pants. I'm gonna look bummy. That's all it's gonna be. But like, shoot, man, like once COVID like calms down, I'm not gonna lie, I've been missing California. I've been having a lot of Cali vibes in me.
Man.
Definitely gotta plan a trip just to see everybody like in their element. And also I gotta see my homies too. Like I got homies like that I went to junior college with, and I miss them a lot.
Yeah. I actually got to see some of my JUCO friends too. And that definitely was quite the experience. So it's definitely necessary, DeAndre. It's definitely necessary.
Oh yeah, big business stuff. Yeah. So before we go to our main discussion, first we want to just plug in. If you ever want to see more about Talk, you can follow us on the Talk Twitter page at Go Talk 2020. That is Go Talk 2020 on the Twitter. And later on, near the end of the show, we'll also plug in our individual social medias. If you ever want to see, what we be posting and stuff, or like, what we're into, if y'all into that stuff. Anyway, we're gonna go to the main discussion, which first just go dive in just the year of Talk. Talk started this year, and it was very interesting. The build up and everything for Talk. For me, the main I know for a fact because it was 2020 was crazy, and so Talk started is because of over the summer when they had the George Floyd shooting, the Breonna Taylor shooting, and just a lot of like African Americans shootings, to the hands of officers, and seeing just the reaction worldwide. We had like outside the U.S., there was other countries just like seeing everything like happening in the U.S. It's like the U.S. was in a spotlight, and because this problem always happens and stuff. And for me, during that quarantine and stuff, I didn't want to come back to school and then like I'd be with my peers or my colleagues and nobody acknowledges what happened. Especially knowing like, being an African American male, I want to be there and be like, okay, so nobody's going to acknowledge that this happened over the summer, that like all these events happen, and then we come here, just nothing. I didn't like that. And so I remember during that whole like period, I'm like, I'm going to figure out something to do my part to make sure that like this generation understands like, yeah, there are things that are happening, and it's time to stop being silent and time to actually talk about it, and let's learn from each other and grow. Because I feel like that, this generation kind of weird. We still have conversations, but socially, the social skills aren't really there. Like it's crazy that we have social media and stuff, and it look like we're outgoing, but in person, it's not that much social interactions. Or not that many people know how to have conversations stuff. Nor do we really want to talk about like a black man getting shot in the street, or everybody like a lot of like COVID cases and deaths happening, or like people being deported. Nobody really wants to talk about that. No, I'm saying you have to talk about it all the time. You don't, but like when those situations pop up, you never know, like the person that you're talking to might be affected by it. So I wanted to create this, this whole show to where we have it weekly and stuff, and then we just choose different topics and stuff, and we'll just go at it and just, talk about it and trying to find, hear different opinions, different perspectives and stuff, and learn from one another. Now, I'm not saying that all of us have the answers and stuff, because there'll be times we'll go on the shows and like I'll say my piece and I'll learn something from somebody else and stuff. And that opens me up. Like that opens my mind up. I'm learning something. The whole point is to keep on learning. Because I feel like that kind of weird how people are when it comes to education. It's like once you finish school, people decide to like stop learning. Like there's no point to keep on going. Like I'm graduated, there's nothing else I need to learn. But I feel like education is like for life. You can learn something new each and every day. I feel like you got to learn something new each and every day. Because once you stop, then you become stagnant and then you fall behind. Like the world's evolving every like second. And if you just hinder your progress because you feel like you know everything, then you're not really benefiting. I think it was a quote by Muhammad Ali that said, if a 50-year-old man still sees the world from like the past 30 years, that he has not grown, he has wasted his life. And that's very true. If you're still seeing the world, in the past and stuff, that you're wasting your life. Like this is not the 90s. You can't keep on living your life like it's in the 90s. Or even for us, we can't keep on living our lives like it's 2016. The world has completely changed from that time. And if you just stay in that place, you leave, you want to be comfortable, but you're harming yourself. You're stopping your growth and stuff. And so the whole the program's basically for that. We're trying to help our homies out, help our colleagues, people that we don't know, and even staff members. Like we have university and stuff. We have professors and faculty and staff members that, their mindsets are not completely updated. And so we just want to let them know, like, yo, yeah, this is what we're thinking. Even though we're in your class, this is our mindset. This is what our reality. This is what we go through. So we want you to hear from us what we feel, what we're going through, and maybe you can learn from that. Mm-hmm. So, that's the main point of Talk. We keep on going strong and stuff. We started, I think, the first episode, August 19th.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, August 19th when we started. And now we're getting ready for, season 2, which starts in January. We're going back to Wednesdays. I think that's one thing. So around January 20th will be basically the season 2 premiere of Talk. We're also going to be recording. So we're recording those episodes as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. But we still going to have this podcast too. But yeah, man, that's basically explaining Talk. And so now, we're talking about the growth of Talk. So I got the first one, which, look who disappeared.
He went to go get something. But we can edit this part out.
Hey, we can fix that part.
Just put it on us two for a minute. Yes.
I mean, he's still here, fam.
No, I know, but I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, make it like you can't make it us two and then him small or no.
I'll just probably put a picture of his face just for fun.
All
right, I'll just go to me. Okay, go through Talk.
So cut out write down 14 minutes and then whenever he gets back.
Sorry. I put in the private chat if you guys didn't notice.
I seen it.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
I almost was going forever. My computer was like at 5% and I didn't realize it.
Oh, that would have been GG's.
Going for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, good bloopers.
Yeah, I know it's the first take, so
It's all good.
yeah,
Dang, I
still
forgot what
learning.
was
We're
I
talking
talking
about
about.
the growth to talk in 2020.
Okay, so shoot, like I said, editing this is gonna be very fun. All right, so coming to talk, we started around August and stuff. As we kept on going, we definitely there's a lot of fun talks. I know during our final talk show, we talked about our favorite talks, and I have a lot. Honestly, I decided to choose like a specific one, but I will say when we had our first talk, I titled it "The Living Rainbow," which was I just had unique titles like at the first one. And it was basically a discussion about race. And we wanted to talk about like the concept of race, how it like has big effects on us. And the other thing, I wanted to show a video of Jane Elliott doing her her exercise. Sadly, technical difficulties hindered that, and we couldn't really show the video. But the best thing that happened was we actually had a big conference with her at the school, which are one of our faculty members was able to help set that up, which made me very happy because I always seen her work and seen what she was able to do and stuff. That was our first talk, just discussing race. And so after that, we went to
May I add
athletes,
something?
athletes and activism. There we go. Thank you.
May I add something?
Yeah, what you want to add?
So that conference with Jane Elliott, I don't think it would have happened without Talk and without DJ going and talking to Dr. Smith or
And Mr. Cheeks,
and
Dr.
Mr.
Cheeks, I
Cheeks.
believe, or Pastor Cheeks.
Yeah, so I think that's very important. DJ and Talk got that going. And actually, she met with K State, us, and who else did she meet with? Like,
It was a couple, like a school district and stuff. So like, it was a big audience that like was there to witness that whole thing. And a lot of like football players were there. Our coach, I will say, like our coach is very different, but I do respect that man because that man has really been 100% like behind like this whole thing. Like he always been to all of our like talk events, but even like starting it, like he helped out a lot. Like he was on board the moment like I said it, so he helped out like get everything and stuff. And so when it came to like that Jane Elliott, I remember he was asking everybody because he knew I was going to be there. He asked everybody like, "Are you going to be there tonight? Are you going to be there tonight? Are you going to be there tonight?" And so I do got to give props to our head coach because he was 100% behind like the whole thing and stuff. And I do have big goals. Getting Jane Elliott was one. I will say my next biggest guest, I don't know how. Like I would love to get Angela Davis. If y'all know her, I would love to have her like either on the Talk podcast or just somehow because I feel like she's such a big figure in history that I didn't really know about until like 2020. Do I had to look? I heard her and Jane Elliott talk, and hearing her story, everything that she done, I'm just like, I gotta meet this woman somehow, some way. If we can get Auntie Jane, we can figure a way how to get Angela Davis. I don't know. We got people. We'll figure out something. That's one big goal that I want like talk to have. We get not Jane. We get Angela Davis because she's just a revolutionist. Like,
yeah, for sure.
On the FBI most wanted list. Okay, think about that. Because of like the things that she like fought for, right? But like, yeah, but shout out to Ant for bringing that up and stuff. Always the love. But yeah, like the growth to talk. Like we started with the first show and then finished around like the second week of November, and we'll go into our second season and stuff. And one thing that I liked is that we'll always have different people that will come in, and I don't really care about how many people show up because I always feel like that the whole point of it is who's going to listen. Almost like a butterfly effect. All it takes is one person to get the message and then spread it out. That's like the main goal. But it's also cool when we do see different people. I think it was your Wesleyan experience when we talked about our college experience at our school. we saw like a large group of people that came, and it was always fun. And it was like one of my favorite ones because we heard these different perspectives from different students and stuff that come from different backgrounds. I definitely enjoyed that one. The other one, I don't know if it was maybe it was we had a Donald Trump whole talk. Very fun one too, to where we had other different opinions as well, and hearing from different people, especially those who come from states that are predominantly red states, hearing how they live and their experiences being in those areas as well. It's just always nice hearing like students actually like voice their opinions, because you probably won't hear it them just saying the general conversation, but seeing how like they're in an area to where like there are people that they don't know and stuff, and with the fear of like being judged or like just being like outcasted because of your opinion, a lot of students decide to speak and speak their truth, and I applaud them for that, because that's something that needs to be done more. I feel like that you need to understand that your words that you speak will have good consequences and bad consequences. And when you decide to, I guess make a big movement or make a big judgment of saying that you better say the right thing or else we're just going to, like, we're not going to mess with you, that kind of takes away from everything. People need to learn. You got to hold yourself accountable. It takes away accountability. I think that's the biggest thing. And I always felt like that, being now just turning 23, I'm seeing that I just gotta, like, whatever happens to me happens. I'm always going to speak my truth. If this is how I feel, this is how I feel. Okay. If it causes a big problem, then okay, like if I need to learn something, I'm okay with learning it. Nothing's wrong with it. But the last thing I'm going to do is be scared of voicing my opinion, because I'm just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm telling you the truth. Like, we gotta be truthful with each other nowadays. I feel like there's too many lies. And the best way to explain it is there was a verse from J. Cole on his The Climbback, and he talked about why does the lies sound pleasant but the truth so hurtful? And I feel like that, I mean, that's facts. A lot of people, they love hearing a lie and stuff because it makes them feel safe. But when the truth does come out, that it's just like they feel, I think it's insecurities hit, or it's just like it just flabbergasted them, because it's just like, wait, this is true. Nobody wants to really hear the truth that much, but I feel like that we need to. It's time. It's time to step up the game. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
time to step up the game. It's come on now. Most of us are adults and stuff. Like, we're not kids no more at this point.
Yeah. I think I agree with the old accountability. Like, there's no accountability, there's no responsibility, there's no nothing. Like, we have a whole bunch of people who are claiming to be adults, but don't know what it truly is to have adult responsibility. Like, of course, we have, a man in office who's, having a kind of pardon me, but he's having a sore loser mindset. We have a lot going on right now that people are, have lost their jobs. And, I guess it seems like it's a joke, but this is a serious thing. A $600 stimulus check, to a college student may seem like, oh yeah, this will help a lot. But to someone who's got to feed a whole family, and sorry to like switch the direction, but like, I kind of wanted to use this as an example to kind of further expand on your what you're talking about. But yeah, no, like I was just, the accountability part, it's like almost everything that we're happening to go through right now as young adults involves a lot of accountability, such as wearing a mask or not going out or all these things. It didn't really start to hit me how important this was until I came back home and realized, like, oh snap, like my grandma lives at home, and my grandpa, he lives at home as well, and if I had a regular, not regular job, but a job that required me to, be at risk, then I would be incredibly worried, you know, let alone me going to go roller skating. You know, I'm glad that once I went, you know, as soon as I finished, or not finished going, but like, what is it, a couple weeks, or not a couple weeks, but a week after, you know, my dad took the whole family and whatnot to go get tested at our church. And of course, or gladly, the results came back negative. But I was thinking to myself, what if they had come back positive? Like, there's really nothing I could do besides say I'm sorry. So holding the accountability and having that responsibility aspect on adults, on everyone, is important, because, you know, people are going around lying and saying, oh, I've already, there's no way for me to get COVID, or, you know, once I get it once, don't have to get it again. It's like, yeah, maybe that may be the truth, but the real truth is no one knows, you know, no one knows what could really happen, you know, if you can contract it again, you know. So it's like, that accountability aspect is probably the most important piece to evolving as a country, and evolving as you know, as us as a minority, you know. So thought I'd throw that in there just to add to your point, DJ.
No, that's all good. I mean, like I said, we had a talk that surrounded around the whole pandemic and stuff. And you know, like I said, personal accountability and responsibility matters and stuff. And the worst thing that you can do is kind of strip that away from somebody, because how can they learn? The thing, if a person makes a mistake and you just like don't give them a chance to like learn from it, they're gonna repeat that same mistake over and over again. And they might know that they're wrong, but they're gonna be like, well, there's no point of trying to redeem myself because I've already been ousted and I've already been judged. So what's the whole point of me getting better if they always label me like this? We need to stop that. We're just completely being selfish and just having no remorse. We can't be that. We can't have that type of energy. That's too much negative energy. You can't like it. It takes more power to put out negative energy than like to put out positive energy. It takes more work and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you just keep on putting all that negative energy into the world and stuff, and it's just not good for the soul. It's just not good for your mind and stuff. So like, the biggest thing is just everybody just need to learn how to like learn how to forgive, and not be so harsh when it comes to these like just judging people. Just be like, okay, like you made a mistake, but you can get better. I believe you can get better. And like, you know, I want to keep on pushing that. Like I said, season 2, I think the main goal, or the main quote for me is that watch your neck for this season. So I guess like just stepping up the intensity, going more into detail with what the talks are going to be about, and start really like just asking those like uncomfortable like questions and stuff. And I feel like at this point, just like I'm okay with dealing with the repercussions. At the end of the day, I'm speaking the truth. This is what I want to ask y'all. How do y'all feel about it? And if you have a problem with these words, then let's have a conversation about that. What is making it so hard for you to talk about this? That's like the main thing and stuff. That's how we're going to grow. Like, you know, the first phase, just like the honeymoon phase, you know, just like, okay, we're going to make you feel good. We're going to make you feel all right. You're going to be amazing. At that, I'm just like, now we're going like, nah, now it's for real now.
Yeah. Now we get into one of the main courses of the meal.
Yeah, main course of the meal is like, it has to happen. Like,
mm-hmm.
you know.
Especially us speaking up in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Midwest indeed.
About that, and I've been seeing like a lot of things like going on like recently. I don't know if this was a couple of days ago, but a Kansas sheriff ran over an unarmed black guy after a traffic stop, and like the video is so like cruel and disgusting, because it's like not like he's running and it looks bad. It looks really bad. But I think it's important that we speak up on these things, because we're the only we're all we have in the Midwest. Of course, we have the support of our school and whatnot to a certain extent, but I think if we don't start to shed light on these types of things, we could end up, not only us being harmed, but future kids that are coming to the Midwest to, go to school or play football or whatever it is, travel. They could end up in these types of situations with people not being aware of, the basic or not the basic, but the complex conversations that we have in this podcast. So,
Yeah, and I think another point to make is us speaking up can change someone's life. So if they're
mhm.
coming from a very old school town and they meet someone from California or from anywhere really, and like they just connect with someone, and then they go back and they teach their parents like what's okay now and what's not okay,
Yeah,
and then that changes generations and
yeah,
generations. I think that's one of our main goals with Talk is just trying to spread awareness and
yeah, and
find.
not necessarily force change, but provoke change or influence change. Yeah,
Yeah.
influence change. I think that's the one right there.
Yeah, big things, man. That's the big things. So, what's crazy? We talked about talk, but, let's talk about ourselves. 2020 has been, like I said, an interesting year, as I keep on saying and stuff. And one thing that I want to talk about is, our personal stories and stuff. How's y'all 2020, like the highs, the lows, the middles? Just if you can just like sum it up on the things that you learned. If you could write a book, like write a song about 2020, how was it for y'all?
Ant, you want to go first this time? Since
Yeah, I'll go first. Um, it was very interesting. I mean, I always say this, like, it sucks, but like it's cool that we're growing up in these times. But like when our parents were growing up, they weren't worried about like the world ending or something like that. But like
yeah,
me, like I'm like, dang, am I gonna make it to 45 at least? Am I gonna have a
yeah,
career? But
yeah,
I think 2020 has definitely been an eye opener. I mean, starting off the year in January, I mean, spring ball, not having spring ball, that was tough. And then coming back home, it's just like a whole different environment than being at college, like with all your
yeah,
homies. Like, especially in California, you don't have nothing to do, especially on quarantine. So like it
yeah,
was hard at first, and then I was pumped up to go back to school, and then it's like, should I be going back to school? Because we're still in a
yeah,
pandemic. So I don't know. It's very confusing, but I say the main positive was talk. I mean, that got us through a lot. I think when DJ came, when DJ texted me over like March or May about this, I was like, ain't no one really doing this. I mean, we need this out there. We need to spread awareness. So that was a positive. And then, I mean, I say quarantine's like a low. I mean, there's nothing to do at all. So, I mean, I
Mm,
want to go out. I mean, there is homemade stuff or whatever.
I mean, yeah, I feel like my quarantine was a lot more productive because like I learned more about myself. So, but my bad to
Yeah.
cut you off.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
good, you good. But I think for 2021, I'm really just trying to take it all. I mean, I'm gonna be applying to grad school and stuff like that. So I want to graduate and then move on.
That's
So
what's up. Congrats,
Gang,
congrats.
gang, gang.
Best of luck for the grad school, bro.
appreciate that.
Um, what is it? Yeah, I think 2020, as much as I hated it, like I didn't really hate it, but it definitely like allowed me to grow as a young man, a young black man. Like it definitely influenced me to take on responsibility, take on just the same responsibilities as uh, another 23-year-old would take on, but just more at a more intense level because of what's happening around us. So, what is it? In January, that was the January of 2020 is when I drove out to Kansas, and going to school in the Midwest is a complete different experience. I think it's very different. And then to add on top of that, We had like the pandemic going on, and then we had Trump as a president, and then we have just so many different obstacles. I feel like, this generation is definitely is built in a very different way. And by very different, I mean, like, not to brag or anything, but our generation is like, we went through a whole entire semester of like just craziness, quarantine, playing football with like whatever those things are called. And I know it may not seem splash shields. I know it may not seem like a huge difference, but when I actually played without one, you could tell the difference in breathing and whatnot. But that's another conversation. But no, like, as much as I had a lot of growing pain in 2020, I think it was all necessary, because we gained a lot of wisdom from it. For example, I think quarantine kind of allowed people to learn more about themselves, learn how like talented they are, learn how thoughtful they are, learn how creative they are. The creativity really showed, with people going on live and having whole concerts, or people, throwing birthday parties or graduation ceremonies, from their car, and doing, graduation ceremonies, drive-bys and whatnot. People having, what are they called? Anniversaries, and like celebrating them in the most like unique way. So I definitely believe that 2020 was probably a very, very like harsh year, but it allowed us as a younger generation to grow like in much, much, much faster than any other generation that wouldn't have these regular, ongoing problems, especially the kids in that center section in the red states that are kind of open thinkers, like us, that live in the Midwest of the United States. I think it shows that we kind of are very are a lot different from those who. Sorry about that.
Good gosh.
But yeah, no, I think just that center section, it like, if you talk to someone that's lived in a state that has a whole bunch of Trump supporters, that casually drive through campus, every weekend, or once a day, every week, or something like that, to talk or to promote Trump, versus someone that lives on campus that kind of supports what they believe in, and that they get that support from the whole entire town. And don't get me wrong, Kansas Wesleyan continues to support us in the best ways that they can, or the most appropriate ways that they can. But I believe we're a lot more of a different breed, or different built kind of teams or students, just because we're always in the sense of defense, whether that be we'd have to, protect ourselves and protect what we want in the classroom, protecting what we believe in the classroom, or, protecting what we believe in just in the regular community, going to the grocery store, going to pretty much, anywhere in town, just because of the simple fact that we are in a red state. But 2020 overall was a year to remember. So I'll definitely be glad that this year happened, on a sense of like growth, and maturity. So yeah. What about you, DeAndre? How was your 2020? How would you sum it up?
Man, I gotta say, if I can sum it up, I'll compare it to a song, and that'll be I like the song "War Baby" by Rowdy Rich, because it just talked about like his growth, like just like the highs and lows and stuff. I say for me, like starting the year, I was just like, all right, I know what I want to do. Let's see what I can do. Then, pandemic happened, and it's just like we went to quarantine. So like during that whole March, I was like, okay, I want to start working. And I was able to work. I got my first job at Kroger's. I worked the overnight shift from like from 11 to 7. I never got at 7 because there's still stuff to do. But during that time, I learned a lot of things. I learned personal responsibilities. I learned, financing, how to save all my money and stuff. That's how I'm able to get my own place. Like I learned all of that and just like grinding and just like making the sacrifices to get what I got to get. But also, I did have to work on myself. I told myself that, I want to find my peace. I want to keep on educating myself. So during that time, a lot of meditating, a lot of mental healing stuff, a lot of praying and stuff. The educational side, it was a lot of readings and stuff. It was a lot of learning. Like one thing that I did is that, go on YouTube and stuff, and I'll just look up like the different side of like conversation. So I went to conservative YouTube, definitely different, so different. But like listening to what they said and stuff, one thing that I was able to find out that having political parties is just like there's no point and stuff because there are certain things from both sides that like you can agree on as an individual and stuff. And so when I'm starting to learn that there is a middle ground, it's just called pride getting in the way for people to truly find it and stuff. And so that's one thing that I learned when listening to a lot of historical figures and stuff talk, listen to what they were talking about. There's a lot of listening to Malcolm X. There's a lot of listening to James Baldwin, and also like Angela Davis and John Lewis. There's a lot of listening to them. I learned a lot of things about the Black Lives Matter movement that we was having. Seeing that, especially being in Atlanta, a lot of things was happening there and stuff. So it was a lot of learning, and for me to really like progress myself. But also, like I said, the main thing was finding my peace. And at one point, I found that peace. I was just like, I was very happy and stuff. Like I felt like I was uplifted. Then, like transitioning back here and stuff, like I was still happy. There was still highs, but there was also like, still things I have to go through. Like the football season for me personally, like I'm happy like what we're doing and stuff. My personal goals, like I didn't feel like I met. And so of course, like there was just dealing with that and dealing with the doubt. Like I gotta keep on working, but dang, like where am I messing up at? So it's that constant battle with like, insecurities about like, am I good enough? Family, I want to make sure my family is safe. Sadly, we lost a couple family members to coronavirus. And I didn't really know that much, but my mom did. So for me, it was just like I want to make sure I'm mentally there for my mom because I know that she's hurting. Let me do my best for like her and stuff. Let me be the best nephew let me be the best uncle because I have a beautiful niece and an awesome nephew he's one now. And so learning how to be a better uncle and stuff and be a big brother for my sisters, because my little sister just loves like being with me. And so it was like learning how to be the best version of myself for my family and stuff and being there for them, overcoming all my insecurities and stuff. And also, I think the hardest thing for me was sadly dealing with like death of people that I knew. Over the summer, my teammate from my junior college at Santa Monica, he sadly was murdered. And hearing that, it hurt because I was like, yo, like, I knew this dude. Ooh, I knew this dude. And hearing what happened was like, dang, fam, like, that's not right. That's 2 Black lives gone. There was no point for this to happen. And then, hold up. Have a fog in my throat. Like, dealing with that. And then, like, I was like, for me, the worst one was losing my best friend. Like, Ant was there when I found out, and like it was hard, fam. Like, usually they're talking about the 5 stages of grief. I feel like everything just hit right there, but denial wasn't there. I wasn't denying that she was dead. It's like, sadly, it's just like, damn, it happened. And I just remember like that week was so hard because I was just like, it was a multiple things. It was like, my friend's dead. And I knew her for so long. And for me, I was just scared because I'm just like, I'm about to be here by myself. Am I mentally going to be able to handle like being by myself, knowing that I'm probably gonna have these thoughts? And I remember during that time, I was just like, it was just heartbreaking because I knew her for like 9 years and stuff. And like first, like freshman year of high school. And I know like, for me, like, was it like being a freshman, first meeting her, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, had a big crush on her and stuff. But for me, I was just like, I'd rather be her friend than to be in a relationship with her like that, because I feel like our friendship will be way stronger than being in a relationship. And so I truly like cherish being her friend and stuff. And it was the same way. Like, I seen her grow, she seen me grow. I can truly say that she was the first person that I truly broke down in front of. Like, I never really broke down in front of people before, but she was the first one that I truly did and stuff. And she was completely like there, like to pick me up and stuff. And I'll be the same way with her. Like, I always make sure that I uplifted her, and I want her to truly value herself. And I felt that she was valuing herself and stuff. And then hearing that news, it's just like, it hurt, because I was just like, damn, like, not her. Like, please, not her. Because going back to Georgia, even my mom said, going back to Georgia, besides seeing my family, she's the person that I want to see the most. I'd be like, all right, I gotta make plans. Let me go see my friend. Let me go see my friend. And it's kind of weird now. I remember, second day going through like messages, like just to see like the last thing I said. And I remember the second to last thing I texted her was just like, just making sure you're all good and stuff. Because I knew she was at work. And then, the last text I, sent was like, yo, as like concerning, I'm just like, I want to make sure, is everything okay? But like, I think the thing that worried me, I was just like, I didn't want to blame myself. Like, subconsciously, like, I know for a fact there's nothing that I can do, but deep down inside, in like that subconscious, I'm just like dealing with that. You could have done something. I'm just like, it's like an internal battle. Like, what could I have done? I could have blasted her phone, maybe. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, there's nothing that I could have done. And me trying to find a way to blame myself is just going to hurt me more than anything else. And the last thing I need to do is that. It hurts. Like, it really does. Like, I love that girl. Like, and I'll always love her, because like, that's how strongly I miss her and stuff. And, for me, I always believe in honoring like those who have fallen. And, I made sure I called her brother and stuff, checked on them, make sure like her family's okay and stuff. And learning that, I was just like, you know what? Like, it's so, we kind of forget that life is so fragile and we can go at any moment. And earlier, before all this happened, like even like during quarantine, one thing for me is that I kind of came into agreement with my mortality and just been like, if I was to go out, not the way that I planned, if I was just to go at any moment, I want people to know me for what I did, to remember me for all the things I stood for, the things I fought for my legacy to still be there and not to be tarnished. And, they say like, nobody really dies unless you stop thinking about them, until you stop saying their name and stuff. And so for me, I'm like, with her, I'm just like, I'm always going to, she's physically gone, but I just know like, I'm always going to remember her. Like, DeAndre wouldn't be where he is now if it wasn't for her. She played a big part in that. She like helped with that and stuff. And so for me, it's just like, what you do, the people that you affect, it matters and stuff. Those are the people that will keep your legacy alive, that will fight for you, that will always honor you and stuff. And so the thing that I learned like with her passing was just like, you really just gotta like make it count. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta go for it and stuff. You really just gotta like full send it, because you never know what's gonna happen and stuff. It's time to really like look at yourself individually and be like, all right, it's time to focus on me. Nothing selfish about focusing on yourself. You need to focus on yourself. You need to work on yourself. You need to build yourself. There's a lot of things that we go through. I think I have a book over there. It's like a 45 promises. And I remember I read like the first one. And it talked about the walls of Jericho being brought down. And talked about Joshua having his troops, going to tear down Jericho. And instead of actually tearing it down, Joshua talked about how, God told him just have the men march around the wall. and to be silent. As once it happens, victory is there. And the person was talking about how the walls of Jericho is basically everybody has Jerichos. And Jerichos can be your resentment. It could be your pride. It could be your doubt. It could be your envy. It can be like guilt. All these negative things and stuff, that's your Jericho. And so what do we gotta do? Like, I know people don't believe in the spiritual and stuff, but it's like it's not in the order like how are you going to win. It's when is your victory going to be official? And I feel like that we need to recognize, see the things that are hurting us, that are our walls of Jericho, and we need to, understand them. And so when the day comes for them to fall, like they will fall and stuff. And I know for me, like I plan every Sundays to do like a little like reset day, like to make sure everything's good, and probably write in the journal more. I don't mind writing down like everything that I struggle with. And I think the way that I do it is through poetry. Um, I used to do poetry when I was younger and stuff, but I stopped doing it because I felt like that it was too negative. And being older now, I feel like that it helps me like put my story out. This is how I feel deep down inside. It's not easy for me to say, but this is how I feel about it. And so I'm gonna give you these words, through my poems and stuff. And if you read it, then you get a deeper understanding. I feel like I can go back to that, but like I said, it's time to really just like to build on yourself to really like, reach new levels and stuff. You gotta break those walls down. So I feel like that, for 2020, it was the year of okay, you're about to go through the biggest like your ups and your lows. How resilient are you to keep on going? Do you have what it takes to keep on going? And understand that not everything's gonna be easier. It was a little bit too relaxed, but it's not gonna be easier. But are you willing to keep on fighting? That's the biggest question. And so for 2020, that's basically what my story has been. It's just you gotta keep on going. Keep on going up, keep on fighting for what you believe in, and just go all out. Because when, football games, coaches say leave it all on the field. I'm like, y'all know coaches always say that, like, leave it all on the field.
Yeah.
Leave it on the field. Let's actually do it. It's time to leave it all on the line. When you do something that you really love, like when you put all that energy into it, you should feel like, gosh, man, I'm tired. Like, give me a Gatorade. You should be on your floor, just like, damn, this is something else. But it's that satisfaction of you knowing that you accomplished it. That's going to be the biggest win. Like my body might be broken, but I got the one. I got the win. I got the dub. I think that's the main thing that's mattered. So,
yeah. No, I'm definitely truly sorry for your loss, man. But I agree with you. Like, keep going. Because you never know when your last day might come. And you do want to leave it all on the field. But I definitely commend you for continuing to work through D. You're very, very inspirational man. Yeah, especially at the age that you are now. You are making steps for a brighter future for your nieces and nephews, and you're able. I'm sure you're making your mom proud. So,
yeah, Mama Jones is very happy about everything. So, and, it's the Jordan year too. So it's It's time to. I have no choice but to really step up. I really feel the pressure right now.
Like, bro. Yeah,
that's a crazy thing. But yeah, that's basically our stories and stuff. And so now, like preparation for 2021. Like I said, it is my Jordan year. I feel like 2021 for me, how I'm preparing myself is to, continue speaking my truth. But now at this point, it's just like I will consider people's feelings. But if there's something that needs to be said to somebody, I need to teach myself like, you get ready for your consequences because you're going to say something. They may not like it, but if it's something that they need to hear, you need to speak up. I feel like that. And what my mom always says is that I'm more of an observer. I'll sit back. I don't know exactly what to do, but I'll just listen. Let me hear you out. Let me see, okay, let me see the situation and stuff. I feel like now I kind of gotta be more into it. But I listen to what y'all say. Let me go ahead and speak my piece. let's figure out the right way how to do it. Be a little bit more assertive and stuff, but also just like, being myself. I think that's the biggest thing. I want people to truly see like the stuff that I probably won't put out like that. I want you to understand, like, yeah, this is me. Like, this is what I believe in stuff. I don't feel insecure no more about it. Like, I think that's the biggest thing, like getting rid of my insecurities and stuff. Because, like, we all still have our insecurities. But I feel like that for me is hiding those insecurities. It's like one thing I've been doing is been switching my hairstyle. And so, of course, I got like, locks and stuff. I braided them last week. I put them in pigtails. Like, I had like jewelry on it and stuff. Getting myself, like, appearance wise, getting myself like being uncomfortable, but learning how to be like, it is what it is. Like, I like it, get comfortable with it, trying something, getting myself out of my comfort zone, and just learning how to like overcome my insecurities. So like that's my main mission. That's my preparation for 2021. If I make it 2021, it's gonna be a big year. That's one thing. Senior year, graduating as well. Definitely do want to get my master's. I think that would be a big thing in my family, getting my master's degree. And if this whole football thing worked, probably play international. I wouldn't mind traveling the world and stuff. Probably play in the German league. That'd be pretty fun. Or, get picked up by the CFL or the XFL. Play for Dwayne Johnson. That'd be nice. That'd be a big goal and stuff. If the NFL happens, then shoot, I ain't gonna lie. I'll be happy with the practice squad in the NFL. Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, man, I played in the league. But like, just like really seeing like my future, what I want to do. I think that's the thing I'm excited for. Because like Ant's interested in being a coach. I don't mind being a coach as well. I kind of want to, train like athletes and stuff. But like being a coach is like, I feel like I wouldn't mind taking up that challenge. That'll be something that I'd like to do. But I feel like the type of coach I want to be, voice crack. The type of coach I want to be is like, not just that football coach, but like that life coach. Because I know for a fact, coaches matter. When you have that right coach, he's gonna not coach you just on the field, but off the field. I think that's the best thing. That's like the type of coach I want to be. I want to be like, hey, yo, like get on the line and like you go run all over the field and stuff. And then like off the field, be like, hey, it's time to go to study hall. I'd like to get these grades up. Like, how's everything at home? You need me to teach you how to tie? Like, tie your tie? Okay, I got you. I'm going to teach you how to change a tire. I got you.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be exciting, fam. That's for me. What about you for y'all? How y'all preparing for 2021?
And you want to do rock, paper, scissors or?
Nah. What do you mean, like, by preparing? Like,
I don't know, man. Like, what's your warm up? Like, what you preparing for 2021? Like, what's your ambitions and stuff?
I mean, I kind of said it. I'm gonna be looking for a new home after I graduate. I mean, I think one of my biggest goals is to just make connections with make connections and network more. I mean, I'm very quiet. I'm very introverted. I mean, once I make like you as a friend, I'll open up more, but like I think putting myself out there and like actually getting out my comfort zone, like I don't usually do this a lot. So I think this is a good step. So that's what I'm preparing for 2021.
Okay, Jalen?
Yeah, kind of keep this thing rolling. I feel like 2020 was definitely a year of wisdom, of learning and maturing. So I kind of want to continue to take that forward into 2021. That'll definitely be the year of like not only demonstrating, proper a proper showcase of showing that that I can apply the knowledge that I've learned, but I kind of want to learn more, and not only learn more of just general things, but things that I want to learn about. Reading or understanding people's different philosophies, and how they live life and why they decided to live like that. We've heard so many things about historical Black figures, or just historical figures alone. So, just wanted to hear their take, from whether a book they've written or a speech that they said, and just truly listen to them for their words only, and not kind of hear it from someone else to tell me. And so just kind of just really take this wisdom thing to a whole nother level and allow myself to be a better learner. So, because school is important.
Get the education, baby. Get the education.
Yeah.
It's always nice, man. Man, look at that. We recorded for an hour. Look at that. First episode. It's always great, man. But yeah, like I said, this is the first episode. Usually our shows will always have a video bi-weekly. So every 2 weeks we'll drop a video and stuff. The next one, we're not going to tell you what it is. We usually spoil the next show, but you just gotta have to see, just have to see it. So make sure y'all like this video. We'll post it on YouTube. So make sure you like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel and stuff. And share it with everybody that you know, because we want to keep on engaging with other people and stuff. Also, you can follow us at our individual social media. I have put them somewhere on the screen. We'll figure out. There's somewhere on the screen. I don't know where I'm going to put them at. And also, if you ever want to be a guest, because we do like talking to, you, the viewers and stuff. If you ever want to be a guest on the show, you can always hit us up at the main Talk Twitter page at Go Talk 2020. Or if you want to, you can hit us up on our individual social medias. Like I said, if you ever want to be a guest, and we will have guests set up soon. We'll figure out exactly who. But yeah, this is the first show. So everybody, we just want to thank you for tuning in and listening to us, and just continue to enjoy the ride. And if you are in the area or at Kansas Western University, get ready for the next show. Once we start doing the shows, it's going to be a lot of fun and stuff. We do want more interaction. Bring your friends, bring your family. Don't bring your family. We're still in quarantine and stuff. It's in a pandemic. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So thanks for everybody for watching, and peace out.